Nuuspod. Onbevange, onbegrens, onbevooroordeel.
Hierdie opname is moontlik gemaak deur Quebeca. Bicycles change lives. Hello everybody. So today I'm chatting to Bonny Swanepoel, fitness instructor, cyclist, legend in the cycling world. And I'm so happy to chat to you, Bonny. I wanted to do this for ages and at last. I think just to start with, we should tell people how we know each other and how amazing cycling is, because it's actually through cycling that we've met, hey?
Yes, it's been through cycling that we've met. We've had some amazing races. We have done 2 fantastic epics together, which was just something else. And we've raced a lot together, which has been just amazing.
Yeah, you know what, Bonny, I always tell people it's the amazing thing about cycling is how it brings worlds together and people together. Because, I mean, if it wasn't for cycling, we probably wouldn't have met. And I always tell people, you and I are like chalk and cheese. You can't get people who are more different than we are. And still, we made the most wonderful team. And it was because
we made an amazing team.
Yeah, that we've met. I just need to tell you. So this podcast is sponsored by a friend of mine. His name is Philippe Jordan. He's a Swiss guy. And he was actually supposed to come ride with us last year from Pondrift, and he couldn't make it because of COVID. But still, he said he will sponsor this episode. And it was also through cycling that I met Philippe. So, that's just amazing. But back to you, we need to talk about you and tell your story today. So the theme of this podcast is for Quebeca and how cycling changes lives. And you also have an amazing story, Bonny. You've done how many epics?
I've done 13 epics, and in a way, I feel I owe my life to epic, because I am also a cancer survivor, which was sort of found during an epic. So it literally saved my life, and I got off my bike for 2 years, and I was able to come back and did another 5 epics after the cancer operation, which was really amazing.
Yeah, and that's just incredible. But I think people are interested and they want to know what happened to you. How did you find out you had cancer? I mean, you are the epitome for me of healthiness and wellness, and all of a sudden things just changed.
Yes. So I was riding my 9th epic in a row, wanting to be one of the girls to have done 10 in a row. And on the 5th day, I started to bleed, which was from the vibrations on the bike, not knowing that I was ill internally, because they call it the silent killer, the cancer. We don't know we've got it. Got off my bike, couldn't finish my 9th epic, which was quite a thing for me. But anyway, got around that, got my head around it, came back to Joburg, and was diagnosed with cervical cancer. To be told, 6 weeks, you're going to be off your bike for nearly 2 years. I was off my bike for 6 months. I couldn't ride at all. And then I gradually rode myself back in, starting with 10 minutes a day, from an epic to 10 minutes a day. So, the cycling is something that is an amazing thing, because you can do it no matter what. I managed to get on my bike and do 10 minutes. even though I was nowhere, but I could still ride. Where a lot of other sports, you can't come back. You've got to walk, you can't run.
Yeah.
So really, really, for me, the cycling is something that can change a lot of people's lives. You know, it aided me to, and I learned to, and made a whole lot of new friends when I could only ride for an hour. I wasn't riding 90 Ks, I was riding 25 Ks. I rode with people, and people came out of nowhere to ride with me when I couldn't ride, which was amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. But in the stage when you were in recovery, was that difficult? And was there days that you really got down and depressed and wondered, how am I going to get through this?
Very difficult. So, you know, I came back from the epic. I had a biopsy done, and there was 6 weeks period of not having the operation, but also not being allowed to train at all. And then once I'd had the op, for 6 weeks, I never left my property. I stayed at home for 6 weeks. And in that time, my mind, you realize the serotonin levels that are produced through any form of training to keep us on a happy zone. I really, really struggled. You know, my mom was like my angel. She helped look after me. She was there, you know, but I couldn't do anything. I sat at home. Like I said, I didn't stop knitting, thank goodness, but I was doing crosswords and Sudoku. I don't do that. You know, and then the build up to wanting to ride more. I'm the girl that says I would never put my shoes on for less than an hour. There I had to put my shoes on for 10 minutes. So everybody has a starting place. It doesn't matter who you are, if you're fit or unfit. The starting place is 10 minutes. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you know, 10 minutes built me back to a whole nother 5 epics.
Yeah, that's incredible, Bon. Really,
So,
I must tell you, I'm one of your biggest admirers, and I always look at you. You're just this bundle of energy, and whenever you get on your bike, you're so happy, and you just the way you look at cycling and at life, it's really inspiring.
Yeah, so cycling for me, it's like a place of freedom. I try and live my life as that. What do you want in life? I want to just be free. I want to be allowed to just do whatever I want to do. And when I'm on my bike, I feel like I can just do. Yeah. And it gives me that space of freedom. And it brought me out of a place where I was nowhere. I was like, am I ever going to ride again? Am I ever going to get up Brett's Neck? Am I ever going to do another epic? And yes, thanks to my bike and to friends like you, training partners, you know, everybody played a role in my life. They don't realize they played a very big role.
Yeah.
Guys that rode with me when I couldn't ride, guys that rode with me when I could ride. You know, it's been amazing. The journey alone has been amazing.
Bon, but you just did the Trans, which
Portugal.
one? Portugal.
Portugal.
Yeah, so tell us about that. How was it?
And it was unbelievable. Talk about freedom. You ride with a GPS in a country I've never been to, and you have to just trust that little dot all the time to get you to where you're going. And it was amazing because it's trusted the process and just went with that little green dot through a mind-blowing country. It was mind-blowing because it was clean, the people were pleasant, the little towns were unbelievable. You know, it wasn't easy, but it was amazing and amazingly organized.
Yeah, and it's 6 days of cycling, eh?
8 days. 8 days of cycling, nearly 1,000 Ks, 972 Ks. You literally ride from the Spanish border, the top of Portugal, all the way down to the Algarve.
Yeah. It sounds incredible. It's definitely on my bucket list. But
it was definitely an amazing ride.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people that I talk to at the moment say, it's so difficult to keep in shape and to keep healthy in winter. It's hard. You don't want to go out there and you don't want to get on your bike. But how would you motivate people? And what would you tell people? How to stay fit in winter?
I would encourage them to sort of back off the bike a bit, you know, not get off completely. So do a two-day indoor, you know, and then make a later time on the weekend, shorten the ride a bit, but go out at 8 o'clock and ride a 3 hour instead of a 5 hour. And then either swim indoors or maybe do a bit more weights. Change it up a bit in winter because we do get bored otherwise. And yes, it is dark and it is very cold for us to go out in the mornings. So I would encourage at least 2 days a week in the weekdays to go indoors and not put yourself in the dark in the danger of also riding in the dark.
Yeah, it's
the indoor trainer for me is a big, I ride an indoor trainer 3 times a week, sometimes 4 times a week. Even in summer, I ride indoors. I don't ride in the morning because of my work. The way I work, I have to be at work early. So I ride an indoor trainer, and believe you me, an indoor training is somewhere where you can stay super, super strong because you run your own program. Try not to get involved in somebody else's program. The bikes today, they've got your own wattage, your own cadence. There's a lot of stuff that can help you, and you don't have to have the expensive bike.
Yeah, well, the one thing you've learned me is that one of the reasons why indoor training is so good is you get quality training for in lesser time, eh?
Yes, completely. You can do a quality hour or quality hour and a half, and you'd never get that outside, even in a 3 hour ride, when it's 1 minute dark, 2 minutes cold, because you just can't get going.
Yeah, true. So, Bon, I know recently you also did a course in wellness, and yeah, you are also expanding your career and doing stuff.
I've just I've been qualified for nearly a year already, believe it or not, as a health coach. Yeah. So we sort of advise on food, but we guide you into a healthy lifestyle as well. So it's an overall health and wellness. So we look at the food, but it's secondary. Your secondary food you put in your mouth becomes a secondary factor, as opposed to looking at your lifestyle. How do we make it actually work for the rest of our lives? And we work with a bio-individuality. So we look at you as a whole, not as to go on this diet. There's no such thing as one diet fits all. It doesn't. One training program doesn't fit all, because we're all very different. But we can achieve the same goals. You and I, like we say, we are like chalk and cheese, but we can race together and finish together with the same achievement. We both feeling, yes, we've done it. And that's the health coaching. It becomes a package deal. I sell a package deal of, we look at your lifestyle, we look at your home front, and then we look at how do we encourage more of the nutrient-rich foods as opposed to the calorie-rich foods.
If you can give people advice on oh dear, there's a bit of a glitch now. I think the Wi-Fi isn't.
Yeah, it's you back.
Yeah, let's. You were like freezing, and the next one.
Look at mine.
Okay, I think we're back. So if you can give people some advice on eating habits and how to eat better, what would you tell them?
Okay, eating habits, let me tell you, we think we inherit our parents' genes. We don't. We inherit our family eating habits. That's what we inherit. We know what we were brought up on, and we think, does that work? Yes, it does work if it still came off the farm. But today it doesn't work because there's too much packed stuff. So for me, my advice would be, all we've got to do is we've got to introduce more plant-based. Not become a vegetarian. Okay, we are introducing more of the green products, more of the stuff that we grow into our eating plans. Therefore, the man-made product will be removed by ourselves without being told, because the plate is fuller with more of a homegrown product.
Yeah.
So it's about introducing what we can grow and not stuff that comes in a bag that is already man-made.
Yeah. And it's amazing once you start focusing on training and exercising, how important the food, the stuff you put into your mouth and into your body becomes, right?
Yes, because we have to remember, all our health starts in our gut. And as soon as we put something in our mouth, that's where it's heading. It's going straight into our guts. So if our gut is not healthy, we expect an output at a race or at a training session from the tank that's not full enough and it's not clean enough. We can't get it. You know, a car, we have to service the car to clean the oil. So we need to service our guts by feeding it the correct food, not bombarding it with homemade pastries, non-fresh stuff, fried foods that have been made in a place where the oil's been used 50 times. You know, we've got to start understanding what we're putting in our stomachs comes from where. What is the process to making that product? Yes, we can have fried chips in fresh oil that we've made at home, one batch, not chips that we buy in an external factor where the oil is reused. And, you know, it's a known fact. It is what it is.
And sugar?
Ooh, sugar. Sugar in its natural form as little white granules sometimes is not a bad thing. But sugar, which has become in this community, does not come in form of little white granules anymore. It comes in form of cake, biscuits, sweets, candies. It's no longer just plain sugar. It's become an absolute nightmare because it's been mixed with flour products and the hidden sugar. So it's not a teaspoon of sugar in there. There's a whole cup of sugar in one little sweetie because we can't see how much sugar is in there. And that is the biggest factor with sugar. And we've got to understand our weight gain is through an insulin spike. Yes, which is food we put in our bodies.
Yeah.
So if we put in sugar, we get an insulin spike. We put in a carbohydrate, which is a slow release. We don't get an insulin spike. We get a gradual spike. And that's what we've got to start understanding. The insulin spike is the cause of weight gain. Therefore, the monitoring of the sugar-rich, the high spiking foods is what we have to do. We don't have to cut out the poor potato, who's the gradual spike that makes us gain weight. Yes, so that is a food product that is being put in our body. So we have to monitor what kind of foods we put in our body at certain times to maintain a gradual sugar up and down, as opposed to on and off. And that is where we make a very big mistake.
Yeah, you're so right. Bon, so you've done 13 epics. You've got 13 epic medals on your wall, which is just incredible. But if, oh dear, now it's...
There you're back. There we go, you're back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
So you have done 13 epics. If you can give anyone out there some advice, maybe a newcomer who wants to go do their first epic, how do you approach an epic?
Okay, an epic you need at least, if you've got a basic background of cycling, you can complete an epic and comfortably if you've got a year to training, because but you've got to have a baseline. So I would advise them, make sure you always do a 3-month base, which is riding long, slow distance. That is, if you don't have a base, you can't do any program, and that is a known fact. So I would advise at least a 3-month base program, then build yourself into a 75-85% program. And if you're the casual rider, we don't do sprinting at an epic. We need the on-off to get up the little mountain, but our main thing is to have a base that will hold us for a period of 8 to 9 hours, because that's the average rider there. And I would also advise that they follow a nutritional plan that is given by a rider who rides 6 to 8 hours. Okay, we are not goo riders. Yes, the top guys are riding in that sugar level. They're burning those goos. They're utilizing them. It's not sitting in their stomachs. Where we are riding more of an endurance base. We need the slow release carbohydrate. We need the proper food. We are out there too long. We are out there through a lunchtime. Make sure you've got food that feels like lunch. You know, a lot of the guys, I think, make the mistake of, the too many goos, too many protein shakes. You don't have a protein shake every day of your life when you're at home. You cannot do it in a race. That is what upsets the guys' stomachs. Not really the food, you know. Oh, I got food poisoning. No, we didn't get food poisoning. We got protein powder poisoning in a sense, because our bodies are just not used to having it every single day.
Yeah.
You know, really the body is under pressure because we are eating, because we need the calorie intake. But we've also got to look at the nutrient value of the calories that are coming into our bodies. We have to keep that gut healthy in the 8 days and the build-up to the epic. So learn to eat on the bike going towards the race and never change something. If you are racing and ridden on this product and somebody comes out with this an amazing product, and no, don't change. Stick to what you know. Don't change your seat. Don't change your pedals. Ride the old seat. You know, it is what it is. People think, oh no, but the latest, no. That seat knows your butt. Stay with it.
Yeah, you know, you're completely right. And a lot of people make, it's the small mistakes that actually can cost epic.
Epic, yes. And it's the small change. You know, we think, oh, maybe I need these grips, maybe I need this seat. No, but I've trained for 9 months and I haven't had a saddle sore. Yes, and you've done 3 days of back-to-back riding. So don't change your pants. If you're going to ride pants, make sure you get them and wash them and then ride them. You know, don't go into an epic with new pants that you've never ridden. You know, it's those tiny small things. And let me tell you, around the food, build your body, feed for 9 months. This is how I'm going to eat, train the gut, train the body. This is my bike food, and take your own bike food if that is what you're used to. You know, that's nuts, apples, dates, that kind of stuff. Make sure you've got a supply with you. Don't expect Epic to hand out, or another race for that matter, the food you require.
No, true. So, Bon, can people contact you if they want some advice? Can people come and see you?
Yes, very willingly to give advice. I do a lot of health coaching now, which I'm very happy to guide you up through to an epic of starting to see any race, actually, you know, or just getting on your bike. And like I said before, we must remember we all have a starting point. And I came out of probably a 17-hour week to doing a 10-minute a day. That was me. My starting point was right to 10 minutes. So if you don't feel shy, don't feel embarrassed. I think my 10-minute, I'm only a 10-minute drive. Well, that's where I started. I had to go back there and got back to another epic. So, you know, we've all got a starting point, guys, and it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah. Well,
we're too embarrassed to start.
Yeah, that's very true. So,
you know,
thanks,
I wouldn't race until I could race. I wouldn't go back to race until I knew I could win again.
Yeah.
You know, I stayed away. It was a race, the short race. I said, I'm not. And I wouldn't. I waited until I could race properly before I made a comeback.
And you made a proper comeback. But Bonny, thank you so much. You've got amazing advice, and it's wonderful to learn from you and to be able to get to know you better. So thanks so much. And we will also put your contact details on the podcasts for people if they want to contact you.
Nuuspod. Onbevange, onbegrens, onbevooroordeel.